Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to talk to you about a new and possibly first time ever real trading opportunity within Splinterlands that's never existed before, that might be realized in the very near future for something that's happening out of our soulbound reward cards. I want to discuss the prospect that we could actually have a value that's intrinsic to our account that might merit a justification for listing our account. Like, for the first time ever, when soulbound reward cards are made transferable, maybe it now makes sense to, instead of unlocking them, just selling our account wholesale. And if so, is there a path to that through third-party sites like Peak Monsters? I list my account, you click on it, you see all the soulbounds, you see all the potions tied to the account, and then we can negotiate a price on that. And it can happen in this trustless way, payable through DEC or through credits, etc. I think this is a cool new opportunity, and I think it might be a new turning point for how people actually begin to extract reward for the time and effort they poured into this amazing blockchain-based video game over the last months or years. I hope that this is possible, but I'm actually putting this out as a question to the community of third-party developers, Peak Monsters being the first and foremost. Jarvie, I love you, buddy. Let me know in the comments below, guys, whether it's possible, and if it was, would you do it? I think some of us would. Let's discuss it. Stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. Chris West says, I will probably just sell whole account for 9 times collection bar. There you go. Yeah. See, things like that will for sure happen. Absolutely. Like, don't even unlock it. You just got, if you've got a sweet little, it's like selling a used car, man. You know, you can market it up, you can like advertise it in a certain way. I'm sure Peak Monsters could create a way where that would be, you know, automated. Like, you could list your account and people could peruse the account, right? Like, it sounds like that'd be easy enough. Like, as it is, I can do that. You know, if you don't know this, guys, you should know this. You come into Peak Monsters. If you come into my cards, peakmonsters.com/the account name /cards produces the list of assets that belong to that account. So if I come in here and I put, okay, so I go like this, D.E. Cunningham, that's one of my other accounts. So now I can see the card values available on there. And if I want, it's conceivable that they would list soulbound reward cards here. Now they don't currently, they have rewards, but this is not going to include the soulbounds because they're not tradable, transferable, rentable, etc. But in the future, it would be easy for them to do that, Chris, where they, they do soulbounds. And you could then click on it and you could see really the value, in a sense, from a market perspective of what they might be worth. And so it would be, and then it would be like listed for, you know, like you say, if it's worth 2,000, you list it for 1,000. And maybe someone says, okay, sure, I can do that. I hope they do that even within the context of the 6-month window. Jarvie, if you're hearing this, what would it take? Would it be complicated to create a situation where someone could list their account in the way being described in the comment quoted? Because imagine, like, the cards are being made transferable. That begins today. And it's going to be open for transferability within 6-month window after that point. So what could happen is a guy like myself or, you know, Chris or whoever doesn't have the DC or the cash in order to make his own cards transferable. But because we now have a marketplace with which to price the soulbound cards, because the soulbound cards are being made transferable, it's easy enough to imagine someone lists their actual account on Peak Monsters. I think maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that would be too hard. Maybe there's some complication or barrier. But if that's possible, then you can imagine a pretty substantial sale being had. Like, what's a full, in your mind, guys, like what would a full soulbound reward set be worth? I think a lot, like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. I don't know, but it's a full set. Like, I mean, you with the soulbound cards, there's a summoner for every splinter. There's a really powerful, like, okay, let's just open it up. I can't exactly just open it up because when I click on rewards, we see everything. But everything with the little chain is a soulbound card. There's 1, 2, there's 2 for every splinter. There's 2 legendaries for every splinter. And then you come into epics, and what do we got? 1, 2, it looks like 1 epic per splinter. And then you come into rares. Looks like 2 per splinter. Commons, 2 per splinter. Plus the sums, right? Oh, maybe that was the rares. So it's a small set. Okay. So maybe it is less than I would have previously thought. But even if you say like $100 per summoner, which I think is pretty reasonable, like for a maxed out summoner, I would say that's downright cheap. But again, you have to negotiate because it's like you're selling it all as one package, and you'd be putting up the whole account and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you have potions on your account that should be calculated into that. But it seems like there'd be a way for peak monsters to, especially once there's a market price on Eternin Brune or Pembroke Nymph or Lob Lowland, once there's market prices on these monsters or summoners, it should be conceivable for that to be linked, just like a plot of land, just like a NFT on peak monsters as a sale. And if you imagine like the summoner's worth, $100 each, $500 for these 6 summoners and all those other cards, if they were maxed, probably $1,000 easy, I would think, for a full soulbound set. And then if I sold my account on peak monsters would get a piece of that. So I would think that if that's possible, the Jarvie would try and make that possible, but maybe it's trickier than I'm imagining. Man, that would be cool though. Really cool. Because then you wouldn't, otherwise what you have to do is on Discord, you chat with somebody and then you sort something out, and maybe you get a middle person to stand in the way and take the money and trick you know what I mean? There's ways to do it, but it would be so much more convenient if it could happen through a site like Peak Monsters. Man, I sincerely appreciate you guys hanging out today, especially since it was impromptu. Have an amazing day. God bless. Bye for now.